to Memories of the Game. I'm Leslie Bogosian. Bernie Williams has achieved just about everything in his 15-year career with the Yankees. He's won World Series, Gold Gloves, a batting title, and to top it all off, he has a hit jazz record to his credit. Recently, Brandon sat down with Bernie to talk a little baseball.
We're so happy that you're back. A lot of nervous people out there thinking that maybe you were done.
This is the funniest thing because I hear a lot of people saying to me, I'm glad you're back, I'm so happy that you're back. And my response to them is, I never left.
Well, because they sang your goodbye songs. And,
I know.
It must have been a little weird, but you always did have that look like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, at the time, it could have been interpreted, that if it was going to be my last season.
Yeah.
Even though I never really said it one way or the other, because I think I wasn't sure.
It's almost like you have something to prove again. I don't know. That's weird.
I think every year you
yeah.
have something to prove. Whether it is playing time, whether it is to yourself, to make sure that you're in the best possible shape and your skills are to the level that people expect you to be. I think every year, I even bring it down to every day that you go to the stadium and you play. You always have something to prove.
I think it's going to be a very interesting season next season.
I think, yeah.
For you, so because the challenges that are going inside your head, and you do know, it's only so many years you're going to be able to play. You're going to make the most of it, probably enjoy it more than you maybe have in the past.
Yeah, I think last year was, even though it was a little hard on my playing time, I think it was probably one of the years that I had the most fun. I was able to take things into perspective, being more of a team player, have this role mentality and being a part of the success of the team, as opposed to trying to put some numbers so I can have a better contract next year. I think in the way that you look at it gave me such a great perspective on being a team player and just do the best that you could to help the team win at that particular moment, regardless of your situation and what it was going to be. I think it was a great learning experience for me and something that I can build on.
Tell me a little bit about when you were a kid. Did you collect? Were you a card collector? Were you an autograph collector?
I was a card collector when I was a little kid. I used to collect the cards, and I used to buy the bubblegum cards and collect them. And we used to play around trading them, with my neighborhood kids, and it was fun. It's so funny because first couple of years that I went to that I was playing in the big leagues, I was playing with the guys that I used to watch in the baseball cards, and to me it was such a thrill to see those guys. But they weren't very happy when I used to mention to them, hey, I used to see you when I was a kid, when I was collecting baseball cards. So they weren't too happy about that.
Who are some of your favorite players, and who are some of those players you're talking about? Who are some of the players you walked up to and would say, I used to have your baseball card, and you're still playing. You're old.
Well, I would say guys like Date Winfield and Gary Ward, Claudell Washington, guys that when I came up to the big leagues, they were playing still. Did I mention Ricky Henderson?
Oh, really? Ricky's
also,
big. Oh, yeah. Now, was there one player when you were growing up that you kind of idolized, always wanted to be a little bit like him when you played? So you kind of,
Well, I used to try to emulate, basically what Date Winfield was doing, at the time. Everybody wanted to be Reggie Jackson when I was growing up. In the 70s, 77, 78, 79, those years. That's exactly when I started playing Little Leagues. And I used to copy their swings and run the bases, imagine that we were there.
You were probably a terror as a Little League player, though. Because it just seems like you do so many things.
No, not really, though. Not really. The only thing that I could do well was run.
Really?
And if somebody would tell me, when I started playing in the big leagues, that I was going to hit more home runs than have stolen bases, I would tell him, you're crazy. But as it happened, it's very funny that I have more home runs than stolen bases in my career. But I used to be a good runner. I used to run track before I started playing the game.
Really?
And my background is really track and field. So the game, it didn't really come very easy to me.
It's surprising because you do so many things well. It just seems like everything just seems also so natural to you.
Yeah,
it always seems
it has taken a
effortless
lot of
for
work,
you.
though. It
Yes.
has taken a lot of work over the years, watching the guys that I admire playing, and a lot of the coaches, that had confidence in me and were able to spend some time with me, teaching me to play the game the right way.
Who's in your sports room at home? Like, is there a photo, a piece of memorabilia that you remember of somebody, that, a favorite moment or a favorite player?
Well, I have several, pictures and balls signed in my house. Obviously, when I used to go down the All-Star games, I used to make my day collecting, autographs from everybody, and have them personalized to me, because it was just one of those things that you want to remember. How a couple balls signed by Pedro Martinez,
wow,
and Ichiro, and the big players. I actually have a picture signed by Roberto Clemente.
Wow.
That I got actually this year. They had I was, fortunate enough to get the International Youth Award that they give every year. This is the second year they have done it, and I was honored with that award. And I was able to get one of those pictures. I think it's very rare to have a picture of Roberto Clemente
Very
actually
rare. Yes.
signed by him.
Yeah.